Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 7-step system. This is what I've been doing over the first 52 days of my retirement, and I've been able to get so much accomplished even in these 7 weeks. I've started a business. I'm teaching a class. I'm doing some public speaking as well. I'm doing some preaching. I'm coaching some folks. I'm starting to lay the groundwork for going back to school and starting a podcast. I have started to create a studio. You can't see what's around me. It's a big mess, trust me. A studio where I can ultimately basically it's a broadcast studio. I'm able to create content. I'm going to share with you a 7-point system that I've been utilizing over the last 7+ weeks that have totally transformed and have totally changed the trajectory of my future. Let's get into it. So this number 52 is interesting. It represents a few things. I think first and foremost for me, exactly 52 days ago, I formally retired, and I took a step that had been many, many years in the making, and I stepped into my current situation, my current reality 52 days ago. And what has occurred for 52 days for me has been nothing short of fruitfulness and productiveness and joy and satisfaction in a way that I had not previously experienced, probably for many, many years. 52 becomes important because it's also representative of 52 weeks. So many of the principles that I'm going to share with you today, you can actually apply. You might say, Carlos, I'm not in a position for a 52-day turnaround. However, for you, it might make more sense to implement a 52-week turnaround. 52 is also meaningful because for my Christian friends, as you may know, in the book of Nehemiah, he is a Jewish governor who creates, reforms, and rebuilds the walls of Jerusalem in exactly 52 days. So this number 52 is significant, and I'm going to use it as the basis for this 7-point turnaround system. Let's get into it. I'm only going to take about 10 minutes to break this down for you, and I want you to remember 2 things. Number 1, I'm going to use the letter S to make the 7 points more memorable. And number 2, some of the steps that I'm going to share with you today are action steps, and some of them are reflection steps. So 7 steps altogether, 4 action steps, 3 reflection steps. Let's get into it. Step number 1 is set intention. It's not at all unusual that you or I come to a point in our lives where there's a level of dissatisfaction that is created within us, and it might be outside pressures, it might be things that we've desired to do for so long. Whatever it might be, we've come to a place where we're ready for meaningful change. And what really precedes any kind of meaningful change is this idea of setting our intentions. It's when we make a decision finally that we're not going to go back, or we make a decision that we're going to go forward, or there's something we're going to start, or something that we're going to implement. And often when you think about this, I'll give you a perfect example. It's not unusual that people may, at the start of a year, set their intention on perhaps eating more healthy or losing weight. Or in many cases, people think about improving their finances. So they set their intention. They're tired of the status quo. They're ready for a change, and they're ready to do whatever it is that it takes to implement a change. So step number 1, you have to set intention. You have to make up your mind that this is what it is that you're going to do. Step number 2 is what I call, we have to maintain a systems focus. And when I say systems focus, is oftentimes we'll hear, and maybe you've even been taught, that you do some goal setting. So you determine, this is my goal. And part of the challenge with that is, if you really look very closely, most of the goals that we set are not attainable in and of themselves. So I can set a goal, as an example, that I want to lose 30 pounds this year. And in many cases, if maybe you've done this before, you're unsuccessful. You just don't meet the goal. Or your goal might be, I'm going to save $10,000 this year, or this is the year I'm getting out of debt, or this is the year that I finally start a budget. So one of the challenges with setting a goal is that in many cases, it's outside of our control. So rather than set a goal, this idea of being systems focused, instead of saying, I'm going to lose weight this year, Your systems focus will be, this year I'm going to join the gym. This year I'm going to start eating healthier. This year I'm going to start waking up earlier. This year I'm going to start getting more rest. This is the year where I'm going to start walking or doing Stairmaster. So these are the things that you have to do. You build a system. And if you do this and if you execute on the system long enough, the chances of you actually reaching the goal are very real. And there's nothing wrong necessarily with goal setting. But if you only set a goal without a system to get you to the goal, in most cases you will fail. So number one, we have to set our intention. Number two, we have to be systems focused. Number three, we have to scale. And when I scale, what I'm talking about, these are the actions that go behind you and I actually doing the work that's necessary for us to be in the best position to actually be successful in what we're trying to do. So I'll give you an example. In my retirement, one of the things I've done, and I've done many, is I'm actually reading a lot more. I've probably read another half a dozen books in the last 7 weeks. I have been very intentional. I've gotten, you'll see in back of me, there's a wall calendar to stay organized. I've got a calendar app that I'm using now. I have a voice recording app so that even in the moment I can record myself. If I'm inspired to, for example, just create a video, I can now speak into the app on my phone. So I'm getting and garnering and gathering resources that are going to make this 7-week transformation even possible. I've certainly established a budget. So I know what financial resources I have available in order to do some of the things that I'm doing with social media. I've had to subscribe to certain types of softwares or certain kinds of services. I've had to purchase equipment. There's all kinds of equipment around me right now: microphone, camera stand. I've got a lift for my computer. So I've had to make some investments in materials and resources. And so all of this goes into this third point, which I'm calling scale. Scale is when you and I build the capacity to be successful. The number four thing that you'll have to do in this type of a system is actually study. When I say study, what I mean is you have to take the time to really think about and put down as a plan what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So for me to attempt in retirement to replace my income, I've actually had to sit down. I've had to study out, okay, what exactly are the opportunities? So should I be doing YouTube and content creation? Absolutely. Should I be doing podcasting? Yes, I'm starting, that's part of the plan as well. Should I be doing affiliate marketing? Should I be doing consulting work? So I'm doing some of these things I'm already doing now. So when I use this word study, it's really about seeing what the opportunities are around you. It's really about starting to take the time to do the research, actually to take the steps towards implementing the resources that are going to be needed. Step number 5 is you have to start. There's a very famous online coach, and Graham Cochran, I love what he says. He says, you have to punch fear in the face. I think when you and I really reflect and think about why is it that I've never done the thing that I've really desired to do, or the thing I've always dreamed of doing, or the business I wanted to start, or the side hustle that I wanted to start, or this improvement process, whether it's an improved financial condition or budgeting or losing weight, whatever it is, there's usually been a reason why we've been hesitant. So maybe we say, well, I haven't started on my plan to get in better shape or lose weight because I just don't have, I'm not close to a gym. It doesn't mean you couldn't exercise at home. Or you say, I really haven't found a gym that I want to go to yet. Or I'm waiting to try to see when a friend of mine is also available, and that will be my accountability partner. So we'll do this thing together. Or you might say, Carlos, I really don't know where to start in terms of financial coaching or some help for developing a budget or a spending plan. So since I don't know, I feel stuck and I do not start. The first thing you must do is start. If you want to start a diet, you can start today. If you want to start putting together a budget, you can start today. Start tracking your spending. Very simple. And obviously, I'm making content and producing videos. So if you want to subscribe, there's another S for you. You can subscribe to this channel. You'll also get very useful tips and tricks, and I'll be able to help you along in that process as well. Step number 6 is you need to score. When I say score, I mean you need to evaluate. You need to be able to step back and ask yourself the question, how am I doing? I like to use the analogy of individuals who are into sports. As some of you might be aware, in football, there's this process during a game. There's the first half, there's the second half, and right in the middle, there's this segment of time. It's called halftime. And what happens in halftime is the team and the coaches go back into the locker room and they evaluate. And they think about how is it that the first half of the game has gone. In essence, what they do is score themselves. Maybe we were good on defense. Maybe we were good on offense. Maybe there was something unanticipated that had occurred. Whatever it might be, you might say, okay, this is something we need to respond to in the second half of the game to be able to do it better. Using the analogy again of budgeting, like how do you score yourself in budgeting, is you're going to actually start tracking. So if you find that after 30 days or 60 days or 90 days that you're not saving anything, well, now it's time for you to go back, look at your assumptions, and think about what things you can do differently that will help you really in terms of reaching your goals. In similar fashion, let's say if you said, I'm trying to lose weight or get healthier, when you want to score yourself, you might have to go back and say, okay, now I need some tools because I really don't know how I'm doing. I might need to get a better scale. I might need to get Fitbit. I might need to rearrange my schedule so I'm able to go out and exercise or walk or run or jog or do steps or whatever it might be. But you have to go back. You have to look at everything that you've done to that point and really assess, is this being successful, what I'm trying to accomplish? And then step number 7, you need to stay on task. This is absolutely another action step where you actually have to go back and implement whatever changes you need to for your plan. 52 days is 7 weeks. You can get a lot done. And if you say, Carlos, I don't have the kind of freedom, I still have a job to work, I certainly understand that. You can use a 7-point system over the course of 52 weeks. So that works as well. So maybe your goal is not a 52-day challenge. It might just be, in the next 52 weeks, this is what I'm going to do to radically revolutionize my life and my goals and my finances or my health or whatever it is that you set an intention around. I hope this video has been helpful to you. God bless you. See you again in the next video.